On the Mic. On the Mic with your host, Suleiman Al-Zahafi. Hi, welcome ladies and gentlemen to yet another episode of On the Mic with your host Suleiman Al-Zahafi. We are here in the capital city of Riyadh in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and we're going to continue the marathon of discussing development projects and amazing initiatives happening in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Many people wonder, what is happening? Tell us the details. Well, we're going to get individuals straight from the source, what they're doing, and very interesting experiences for individuals outside the kingdom, coming to the kingdom, their lifestyle, their adventures, and their hobbies, and what they like to do. With our next esteemed guest, we'd like to welcome, he's going to discuss more in depth. I'm sure many people climb mountains, many people do adventure, skydiving, and everything, but very few have the adrenaline rush to go in the water. I'm sure people here in class in biology and stuff like that, they say the ocean we only discovered 5%. Well, this guy is trying to make it to the 6%, trying to discover more and learn more and share more with individuals. So today I thought it would be very interesting to have our next guest, who is Mr. Warren Baverstock, who is a senior marine life director development for the Red Sea Development Company. He's going to tell us more about his adventures, his hobbies, and it seems like he loves what he does, because even in his free time, he does what he really does at work. So it's very interesting, and I feel like it keeps you a kid at heart. No matter how old you get, even retirement or anything like that, do what you love and life will be easy. So we'd like to welcome to the show Mr. Warren. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me on.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is a senior marine life director. So Warren, give us a little introduction. Where are you from? What do you do? And you're on the mic.
All right, thank you very much. Well, as you mentioned, I'm the Senior Director of Marine Life and Dive Development for the Red Sea Development Company in Amala, and I oversee the development and delivery of all the marine life and underwater tourism-related assets and experientials to Red Sea and Amala. So I've been a United Kingdom citizen and a marine biologist for over 20 years now, living in the Middle East for the last 20 years, living in Riyadh for the last 3.5 years. My background is that I design and build aquatic operations and manage all the elements from maintaining animal welfare right through to the commercial dive operations, as well as being a very avid conservationist, which I specialize in sea turtle rescue with my work in the UAE for over 14 years, rescuing and rehabilitating sea turtles. So obviously coming here to Saudi Arabia has been a very exciting move for me.
Okay. So I'm sure for yourself, with everything happening, UAE is already developed many years ago, and Saudi Arabia now we're developing not only a region but the entire nation. A lot of things happening northeast, southwest, and the capital city of Riyadh. But I'm sure you've noticed, for individual, you love the ocean, you love the sea, and you feel like fish are friends. So
absolutely.
So
I mean, I was lucky enough to come here 20 years ago. I was involved in an underwater filming expedition for a TV series that was aired in Saudi Arabia called Arabia's Cycle of Life, and so I really got at first hand to experience Saudi Arabia and the marine territory, which even then was incredible. And although it was only for 3 weeks, I really got to see how special it was. So you can imagine that maybe 4 years ago, when Amala was announced, and slightly after that, getting the offer of opportunity to come here and look at developing all of the marine life tourism attractions and the underwater experientials. So from dive delivery, I was super excited to be part of that, and literally jumped at the chance to get out here and start my work here.
Indeed, it's quite interesting because I feel like individuals they come to Saudi Arabia for the first time, they're surprised, and I'm sure it was you. Like, what was your idea of Saudi Arabia before you came? I was surprised by the different answers.
Yeah, okay. So for me, I mean, I lived in the UAE for 16 years, doing a job which I very much loved. And so, yes, I had visited Saudi Arabia, but, 20 years ago, it was very different to what it is now. And so I never envisioned Saudi Arabia being accessible to me. And so literally kind of never thought of that being a career path choice of where I would end up. The one thing that I noticed as soon as I got the opportunity to come here was just how different the people were. I mean, obviously, living in the Middle East for the period of time that I have done has exposed me to, very different cultures. And so when I came here to Saudi Arabia, one thing that really stood out was just how down to earth, warm and friendly the Saudi nationals were. Towards me, but also from an observation, other people as well. So it's really helped me settle living in the kingdom, and where I do feel that I'm welcome here.
So you felt at home, just like the fishes, I guess.
Absolutely,
Indeed.
totally.
And I was gonna ask my next question, but I get it. Like, you felt at home. That's what made you want to come, and you've been here for 3.5 years, but in the region about 20 years. But for individual that you're the adventurer of the sea. You're always surprised by something. What was the one thing that surprised you the most?
Well, I have to say that coming here 3.5 years ago, things were very different to what they are now. Everything is changing at a rate of knots. But as I said, just feeling welcome was for me very important, and just again, it's about preconceptions and having a comfortable lifestyle in the UAE, and not really thinking that I would be welcome in KSA. And the fact is, I was very wrong, and it really has been a very fast 3.5 years, an enjoyable 3.5 years, I'll say at that. And from my work perspective, I'm so blessed to be literally jumping into both of these very, very special marine habitats, and looking at how I'm going to shape those guest experiences, those encounters, because they are truly unique. I mean, this kingdom is very much blessed with awesome marine habitats, and they are beautiful. And the fact that I have the ability to influence how those are delivered to our guests, to our visitors of the kingdom is, it's mind blowing. And I'll be honest with you, I'm humbled by having the opportunity to do it.
Indeed, and of course, you mentioned something that time flies by. 3.5 years, it's like the same expression. When you enjoy something in life, you don't realize the time. You realize the moment in time.
100%. I mean, I would say that my work is my life, and literally, I'm working at the weekends doing what I love. I'm going diving. I'm an underwater photographer. I'm capturing perspectives and bringing them to the surface and showing everybody, saying, here, look, this is what's really down there, and look how remarkable it is. And when you compare it to other parts of the world, we really are. I'm super excited to know that we have very unique offering, and it's definitely going to be a place to watch over the coming years.
So, wow, it was very interesting. Underwater photographer. I feel like every time I hear someone doing that, or like they're an animal photographer or like a zoo photographer or something like that, I always ask them, does the client or the animal or fish taking the picture, do they go around and go to photographers like, let me see how I look, did I blink or something like that?
No, not at all. It's totally the opposite. Normally what happens is animals want to go the other way, especially if you're using just a normal scuba gear and you're making noise from your bubbles. Animals have the tendency to run in the opposite direction. So I've been an underwater photographer for about 25 years, and I have a knack of of understanding animal behavior. I work very closely with animals anyway, marine animals, and so having that understanding when it comes to photographing the environments and just capturing these moments in one still frame is a skill that I'm blessed to have because of my passion of marine life, of animals, and everything, all things underwater. Really, I just am very passionate about it.
I'm always amazed, because individuals, they go diving, they go swimming, they go to like Maldives or anywhere like that. They enjoy, they take photos and everything, but you're like taking photos not as a selfie or anything. You take photos of the natural habitat. You know,
Absolutely.
I feel
Yeah,
like,
I mean, my work is very much focused on capturing the environment as it is, that shows it in its best glory, so that then when it comes to the surface and then people see it, they go, we need to protect this habitat. So by creating that type of photograph, really, it helps from a conservation perspective. It helps from a promotion perspective. It helps me get things across the line. People understand it better when they actually see the stunning environments that are just under the water surface and what we're going to be able to offer to our guests. It certainly helps when I'm trying to get approval on certain elements of the projects that I want to try and deliver.
you remind me of the passion of the crocodile hunter. It's like, oh, crocky. Well, you're like the guy who was like, you see fish, it's like, oh, fishy.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
like,
I have a strong commitment to this, to the preservation of this habitat. So literally everything that we're shaping, when I'm bringing up these images and when we're planning the offerings that we want to deliver, at the same time, in the back of my head, I'm constantly thinking how we can ensure that we can preserve these territories. So, one of the things that we're definitely going to be offering is good rotation of our dive sites, for example. So, something that you might dive on your first visit, you won't be diving when you next come here because we'll be resting that site. So I'm constantly thinking about how we can not just showcase and deliver these experiences to our guests, but also how we can preserve it for years to come.
well, that's a very good idea, actually.
Yeah.
It's like, so if you saw one thing, you lost a souvenir or something like that, we'll see you after 10 years, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, these are really special locations, and I think both Amala and the Red Sea are very blessed to be positioned in such a beautiful part of the world, with such incredible, diverse marine habitat.
You mentioned something. It's like many individuals do not really realize the potential of the Red Sea, the beauty of it, or anything. It's been disregarded or unknown. Uncharted territory. But nowadays, people are realizing it and they're appreciating it more. Tell us about it, because I'm sure you took photos and you've had experiences and everything. How is it compared to other regions in the world?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the habitat itself, the marine habitat. When I describe it, I'm talking about corals, the density of corals that create this environment is magnificent, stunning, and it's rewarded also or enhanced further by having some great water quality. So when I recall one of my dive sites that I went to in Mali, I'd never dived on this stretch of reef before. I'd only looked at it from Google Earth. And it was a beautiful morning. It was probably about 8 a.m. It was crystal clear, flat surface, and I could look down off the side of the boat into this water, and all I could see was pristine corals. And when I jumped in and I just looked along the entire profile of this reef, it was just stunning. It was mind-blowing. It's like something that I've been seeking all of my life to have. When I first discovered diving, I used to have these books that showcased dive sites from around the world, maybe 30 or 40 years ago, when all these habitats were pristine and unaffected by the environment. Well, obviously the environment has affected certain parts of the world, and commercial diving has affected some of these environments and these habitats as well. But when I got the opportunity to jump into a lot of these unexplored territories where is never seen a diver, and for example, looking down this reef and getting 50 meters clear visibility and seeing the
50
pristine
meters.
coral environment, it's just mind-blowing.
50 meters, you say?
50 meters visibility. I mean, I literally all I could see were fish hovering above the reef, the beautiful shafts of sun shining down through the water, down into the deep water column, where there was magnificent shoals of of black spotted grouper. It was just beautiful.
So if someone like me, a foodie, and I go with you, it's like you will say fish is friends. I think fish are food.
To be honest with you, fish are food. I do eat fish, but also at the end of the day, they're also hugely important to us delivering that world-class diving experience. And so there has to be a fine balance within the territory of what is considered as food and what is considered as being an important part of our tourism offering.
Indeed, and yeah, I was telling many individuals like about what's going on, this and that, and what we expect in the future. I'm sure you went to many coral reefs around the world, Hawaii, or any amazing places. And one thing I love to do is like I love an adventure. I love going there. I love being there. But the destination, the trip there is so long, so it kind of makes me jet lagged, tired and everything. And when I heard about what's going on, the development and the changes, and literally I have like literally clear blue waters in my backyard, a few hours away by flight. I feel like
Absolutely.
I can literally just go in there on the weekend, chill, hang out, have a few days there, be close to work and everything like that. Call in a sick leave while I'm there. Hopefully no no Zoom meetings or anything like that. But yeah, think about it. Life is good. Life is good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. For me, I would take that one step further and say that when I lived in the UAE for those 16 years, I literally booked all of my holidays diving abroad all over the world. I never dived in the UAE. I did dive in Oman, but it really didn't tick the box for me, and so I dived a lot of the world. However, here, in the 3.5 years that I've been here, I haven't considered going to another dive destination around the world, anywhere in the world other than here. There's no point.
So
It's all here.
someone was mentioning a few days ago, like about like the stretch of the Red Sea, which is about 24,000 square meters. Okay,
Sorry, what was that?
the stretch of the Red Sea is about
Sure.
24,000 square meters. Is it that diverse from the northern part, center, and different regions? Is it that diverse and different from each other, from the coast of the Red
So
Sea?
the northern part of the Saudi Arabian Red Sea, from the Red Sea right up to Amala and up to Neom, is stunning. It's the coral coverage and the habitats is beautiful, really beautiful, and we have to do everything we can to protect the habitats and the fish that live within these environments. Because honestly, I have been to many places around the world and dived them. They are not as rich from a marine habitat perspective as they are here, and it's definitely going to be an incredible offering that Saudi Arabia has as part of the Vision 2030.
First time diving for individuals had definitely been an experience. But for me, I never actually went diving. I love fishing, but I don't like diving as much. But like, what advice, what recommendations, what do you want to tell individuals like me? Because I want to dive, but like I didn't get the opportunity. Now I feel like I should get an opportunity and like start practicing. And I've seen some of my friends, they have diving license, or I don't know what they call it, but they become like professionals and they can teach people and stuff like that. Tell us about it, like literally the inside scoop of it.
Okay, so if you want to learn to dive, Jeddah is the place this year. Next year, you come and see me in Red Sea Project. We have Ritz Reserve opening up, where we have our first dive center opening there, where we will be giving access to our Waj Lagoon, first time for anybody in the kingdom. I mean, it is mind-blowing, some of the sites that we have selected for the guests staying at this resort. But for today, I would get on a plane or get in a car and go to Jeddah. There is a lot of dive businesses there that will be able to introduce you to diving, do a try dive, and then from there you become a PADI open water diver. And then once you've got your certificate on being able to be a recreational diver, then you start thinking further afield and maybe doing your advanced diver, your rescue diver, and developing your diving career so that you become more self-sufficient when it comes to your own personal safety. And by having those skills, you'll be able to feel more confident in going to the slightly different environments where there might be more marine life, but the environment might be slightly different, slightly deeper water, maybe stronger currents, but because you've developed your diving knowledge and your experience, you're able to cope with that and deal with those habitats. And by doing that, you'll obviously have a better experience by being able to go to some of these amazing sites. And like I said, next year we're going online. We're opening up our first dive center in the Red Sea project. And then obviously followed by that, we're looking at opening up dive centers within the Amala project as well. So 2 habitats which are going to be coming online from next year. And definitely I would strongly suggest you get to, if you want to learn to dive now, start packing in the dives, go to Jeddah and look at doing a PADI open water diving course.
Well, seems like definitely something I'm going to do very soon, actually.
Yeah, good.
But
good.
I always want to ask something, like, because for me, it's like I'm scared of the water. You know, I've fished all my life, went fishing, and I'm on the boat. But like, there's a common question, like I always feel like I want to ask, but I forget. I think there's a perfect opportunity. What do I expect, like, in dangers? Because I feel like if I'm there, it's like I eat fish. I don't want the fishes, like, or the shark to eat me. Yeah, there's never an issue like that, is it? Like, because for me, skydiving, my fear is like heights, of course, and like the parachute not opening. But in that terms of diving, is that a common fear or what?
Look, I've been diving for many, many years. I've been diving in environments where I've deliberately gone where there are larger predators that people might find intimidating. And I would say, on the whole, most of the time, they're just not interested in me. Fish certainly aren't interested in me. In fact, as I said, they have the tendency to swim the other way when you jump in the water. As far as danger to you is concerned, no. I think the dive operation that you pick to deliver your dive experience is hugely important. Their practices, their safety practices, and their offering is hugely important. And I guess that's one of our key focuses when we look at what our offering is going to be in the Red Sea, is that, you know, we are blessed to have incredible habitats. We've sought them out, and we're making them 100% safe. We have flexibility on how they're dived, so depending on the weather, it would determine whether we make a last-minute change to not dive something. But when it comes to actually jumping in the territory and having an experience with marine life that might be a threat to you, I would say on the whole there is very little that you could be threatened by. Obviously, sticking your fingers in holes might not be advisable, but apart from that, most fish are not interested in what you're up to. And obviously, when you drop down and you just settle onto into your dive, then you can really enjoy those animals, and those animals will just be going about their business and of no threat to you whatsoever.
So pretty much, I go inside with 10 fingers, I come out with 10. Like, there's no nibble.
You 100% will come out with 10 fingers. 100%.
So yeah, Mr. Warren, we're very excited and very honored to have you on the show, especially about marine life. So yeah, I'm very excited. Now I had a lot of questions, personal questions, to be honest, about, like, I'm not an amazing swimmer, but like I feel like I'm floating with the fishes somehow. I'll manage that somehow. So yeah. Any last words or message or anything you'd like to say before we conclude this interesting interview?
No, it's just been an absolute pleasure to speak to you. Obviously, I'm hoping that at some point you'll come and do an interview with me in Red Sea next year, and also Amala, and you'll come and have a look at all the exciting projects that I'm working on, both from the marine life perspective and the diving perspective. Yeah, we've got some very, very exciting things coming your way, and I really look forward to seeing you, hopefully with a dive license, and taking you on your very first dive with us, so that then when you come out of the water, I can interview you and we can record it for your listeners so that you can tell them how great your experience is.
It sounds like a bueno idea,
Yeah.
Sounds like
I look forward to that.
We're very excited. Again, thank you so much, Mr. Warren. Ladies and gentlemen, Warren Baverstock, Senior Marine Life Director Development at the Red Sea Development Company, joining us here on the mic, discussing about the lifestyle and the amazing things that are happening at the Red Sea. And, many individuals, they love diving, they love what they do, and this and that. But once you do what you love, you really love what you do. And I think that's the secret to life. If you feel like what you do in the weekdays is the same thing you do in the weekends, it's like literally you don't realize time flies by, and when you realize you come to retirement and you're still doing it, that's how you're able to be a kid at heart. But yeah, having discussion about the marine wildlife, the amazing coral reefs in the Red Sea, and there are a lot of developments and projects. It goes to show that a lot of things are happening in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. A lot to see, a lot to do, and lots of things to be a part of. So definitely have your passports ready if you're going to be coming from overseas. Go ahead and book your vacation days, or if you're really stuck on that, go ahead and take a sick leave if you want. I'm sure you'll feel better once you arrive there, once they start developing and welcoming tourists and a lot of visitors here in the kingdom, in the region, and of course the world. But to conclude today's episode, life is short. Go ahead, take a dive. Literally, as they say in the scuba diving and the diving arena, take a dive. Test the water out. Go ahead, head first, and live your life. Till further episodes of On the Mic with your host Suleiman Al-Zahafi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. On the Mic. On the Mic with your host Suleiman Al-Zahafi.